What's up, geniuses? Welcome to For the Record. I'm your host, Rob Markman. Now, today's guest exemplifies something extremely rare in hip hop, okay? First of all, they're uncompromised in the studio, all right? They're never going to chase a trend. And they might be the most loyal hip hop group of all time, okay? I'm talking about the LOX. I'm talking about Styles P, Sheek Louch, Jadakiss. They're here right now to talk about their fourth album, Living Off Xperience. We got Sheek, we got Styles, we got Jadakiss, we got the LOX, man.
What
Welcome.
up, what 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 up,
Rob,
what
what
up?
up, Rob? What's good?
Chilling, man. Everything is a blessing, man. I'm just happy that I got some new music to ride with. I know it's been a long time coming. And y'all the type, y'all never dormant. Like we'll get solo projects, we'll get, like different collaborations, whether it be Beloved, you know what I'm saying? We've got D Block projects during the year. We had Woo Block, you know what I'm saying? Like there's always been you guys always present. But to get a LOX album feel like a special occasion in hip hop. How is it that the LOX only have 4 albums? You know what I'm saying? Y'all got a great body of work, but y'all got 4 out. Like, how is it?
Cause what you just said, all those other projects. That's what was, and now you add in touring and all that. So it's like we've been busy. And then now you get older, your regular stuff you're doing with your family.
We was working on ownership. We was working on
Bang.
putting out an album under our own label that we get paid for.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That we reap the benefits of our own labor opposed to just, just doing the same normality of, putting out a body of work for the label and they getting all of the shit off of it. So we wanted to set it up where we could own our masters and, be real bosses instead of just saying boss.
That's real. And so this is on Rock Nation, or this is like, how does Rock Nation play into it? Because I know
We're partners. We have a partnership with Rock Nation, and the LOX album came out on Rock Nation, the label.
So what makes y'all decide that it's time to do a LOX album? Like what the business is one thing, and the business has to be right. But for y'all to really form Voltron to get together, like what is it that has to happen creatively?
Before COVID, we sat down in the stool that we always see each other in weekly. For people that say we just got back together or like we had to find each other, we just had a real meeting amongst the group and management. Like, yo, we're not gonna talk about it. We're just gonna put out a LOX album for real.
Word.
So, start getting some production. Rock Nation starts doing some submissions of some beats. We start getting our own from our own relationships. And then we start really recording songs and trimming the fat. And, working on the clearances and doing the real process of really putting out an album. And then during the whole COVID, since you got people's attention a little bit more, the world is open partially, but people kind of really listening to albums and really stuck in their workplace or stuck at home or wherever. We decided, time to put it out.
Yo, Rob, can you imagine having the story and all that stuff with Gazelle and everybody and sitting on it and just waiting? Man, we had that joint. It had to move, baby. You got all this work. It's time to put it out.
And with the new climate of music, you could expect to hear us put out more music. But LOX albums are prepared on top of the stove. A lot of these new albums are made in the air fryer, or the microwave. Our albums really are prepared with seasoning and spinning the spoon and tasting the sauce. And if it's not done, you throw it away or you put it back in the oven till it's right.
Kitchen cook.
It won't take 16 years, but it will be made with respect and love, opposed to giving you a hot pocket project or some of this microwave shit. No
Right.
disrespect.
And you can hear it. You can hear it and feel it when you listen to it too. Crazy.
Well, a song, shit, you mentioned Story, which is one of my favorite because off of the album, because it has kind of this twist ending, and whoever's watching, if y'all ain't hear it yet.
Not to cut you off, just to elaborate on that same thing, the Story, along with some other songs, the COVID quarantine actually helped us get some beats that producers was kind of charging a little high on, or some sample clearances, and it actually helped us because it brought everybody down to life and come back to reasonable prices, and it worked in our favor to a certain extent. Everybody needed bread and wanted to get some work out there, so all parties involved, we was able to, because the Story was almost not able to make the album due to the price and due to some other, industry bullshit that goes on when you're making an album. But Lord blessed us and we was able to get that back, and along with some other songs. Now you can go ahead. I'm sorry.
COVID to humble you with verses and everything. COVID to humble you.
It's kind of like when Big, right? You know what I'm saying? When at the end of the song, he tells you they was double parked by the hydrant. Stupid motherfuckers. And you had to rewind it. It's really like once you get to the end of it, like that was the joint. When I got to the end, I was like, hold up, what the fuck just happened? And rewound that joint before I even got to the rest of the album. And then too, it's in the story, you guys got a couple of those story joints. Like I remember The Heist off of the first album was another record that was my favorite when the LOX get into storytelling mode. So whose idea was it to do the story? Because it seems like a foul record and it's funny and it's cinematic and it's all of those things. I feel like it might have been Styles' idea.
Definitely, he started it off.
Yeah.
You know what's ill about that record? We didn't communicate with each other. Our only communication was each other's verse. So P started it. He left Louch the middle part. And Louch left it for me to take it wherever I wanted to take it. And I just figured to put a nice little twist on it, thinking of, big joint with the fire hydrant and all type of stories. That's some crazy
it's better
shit
that way, bro.
And then, it came out like that.
It's better that way. Everybody can open up their own playbook like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Styles, so when you started off, you don't know how the record's gonna end. You're starting off this story joint.
I don't even know the middle part. I don't know. All I know is what I'm doing, and I'm leaving the idea. All our stories are pretty much like that. Even Bitches at Eastwick, like one goal. Whoever went first, everybody spins off of. Like that's the beauty and I think in the art of hip hop, why people love it is, and they might not know it because it's literally Louch going off what I started, and you know what I'm saying. The Kiss going off what Louch and I both said, and so that's what makes it magic. So like you know what I'm saying. Even as the story's getting laid, I'm thirsty to hear what they're gonna say. Like you know what I mean.
Right.
So it's that's what makes it exciting. It's like all right, like we painting a picture together, but it's like we bombing something, but I just tagged up first. Then they tag it up. You know what I mean?
Kind of lined me because I ain't know. It took me a while to like, how does this shit end, man?
Because you got to bring it home.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Where I don't want to give it away for the people who haven't heard it, but y'all should definitely hear it if y'all haven't. Again, it reminds me of one of those Common, I Used to Love Her. At the end, he gives you who I'm talking about, y'all, is hip hop, and then you had to rewind it and be like, "Yo, did he just do what I think he did?" And I don't think we get moments like that. So it was super creative to get a moment like that. What was going on in y'all life? Because so much about this record is about loyalty. Loyalty and Love is a song on bout shit. I feel like Sheek the most. I feel like somebody double crossed you or did some shit.
Yo, you know what I'm saying?
Because there's a lot on My America. There's a lot in here about having to cut off certain people, only being able to take care of family, people only being around when it's club night and everybody can get into VIP and not around when you guys might need the support that y'all need. What the hell was going on? It's kind of sad.
I ain't gonna lie. A lot of my lyrics are like I like that. I definitely talk like I'm talking about somebody, but I'm not. Swiss hit me the other night. He said one thing he said to me. He said, "Sheek, you rap like," he said, "it'll make a sucker nigga uncomfortable, like because you addressing shit like, oh shit, you know what I mean?"
All of the real issues that go on inside camps of dudes like us.
Word
I know
up.
I know it's dudes around like, nah, I ain't going around.
Right.
But it ain't even that.
Nah, not at all.
Like that, if you feel like that, you're a sucker.
Absolutely.
That's the good part of it. If you can't see that, if you feel like every one of them verses or them type of lines is for you, it's something wrong with you.
I started to feel bad though. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, yo, who is still double crossing my man like this, man? 20 years later, but that was the energy. But I think it's something that everybody could relate to. Think of the LOX as a record. I was shocked. It's not every day again that you hear a Large Professor production. I feel like that might have been the first time you worked with Large Pro, and then we get Westside and then we get Benny. What is it that y'all see in Griselda that because I kind of feel
we see ourselves. I mean, they got that authenticity. They got that ruggedness street. They got that not caring about radio play, talking that
Or
drug talk, talking about the struggle that they had to live through before they was able to get the shady deal. That is like a mirror image of the LOX.
and even being from Buffalo, that's kind of like our story. Like they from New York, but part of New York that don't really get recognized. So we really know their story. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's similar, and we appreciate what they do. They spit that shit.
Yeah, nah, it's dope. It does feel like a younger version. I think when you start to lose a little bit of especially when we come from the era that we come from, like, damn, where's this hip hop thing going? Or the things that we held valuable, the most valuable to us, lost. And sometimes it might feel like a younger generation might not hold that same thing there, and then the Griselda comes in, and you're just like, oh shit, nah, they still got it. Like this shit is still not going anywhere. Um, Going back into y'all history, man. Let's talk about the Rough Rider documentary a little bit, because it within that we see a piece of LOX history, right? And I'm sure it's more complicated than what we saw on 3 minutes in the doc. But when you guys left Bad Boy, I think we all assumed the deal wasn't right. It was business. It was this and that. But the doc made it seem it was more about the shiny suits, maybe the creativity, the direction that y'all was going, with Puff at the helm. Was the thing more creative? Was it more business? Like, what was the real reason behind the Bad Boy thing?
I think more business than the creativity, but just the combination of both didn't sit well with us. Because that's really was the main things. Other than that, we learned a lot of shit. We had some of the best times, um, some of the best relationships with Junior Mafia, with Big, with Faye, with everybody. Carl Thomas, 112, Total, everybody. So it wasn't as bad as we portrayed. And a lot of it was our own fault for signing it or having management or lawyers that that was there while we signed it. Because we coming from the mud. We don't fucking know about contracts. We never saw no fucking contract. You know what I mean? But we just so thirsty to be in the game and be a part of it. It was that's how it played out.
Shout out to Puff though, man, for everything we learned,
Yeah.
man.
And it was a standard contract.
Yeah,
The
that's the
contract
part.
was standard. So, you got to know what you're signing. You got to
Yeah,
know what you're getting.
the
That's
industry
part
owes
of
for that, man.
that's part. No, they would never give us our shit for
The
that because we
industry,
fucked
yeah,
up.
they
We
really owe
fucked
us
it
for
up
that.
for them. In the same token, you know what I mean? We shed light on something for artists and made you be aware. Then to do the same, go down the same road we went. So
Because the
one
list of artists that
one
came to us was
one day
crazy.
one day years from now we'll be acknowledged or get our flowers when it don't fucking matter. But long as dudes like Rob, we appreciate.
Nah, that's what this is for, man, is to get the flowers. But it's funny because you got a lyric that just speaks to that. Like you never said if it wasn't for us. Like you never hit hip hop with the, well, if it wasn't for the LOX line, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of shit is because of the LOX.
We never said once if it wasn't for us. Not one time.
Shit, we should have. Like that contract, like the thing with the let the locks go. I think a lot of people really don't understand that was the standard industry contract, which mad artists had, mostly all artists. We had enough balls and enough confidence in ourselves that we made it. That we said, all right, that's the contract. We didn't really know coming in. Nobody really knows, but we know one thing about contracts: they meant to be renegotiated. Negotiation never stops. So once you do something, you can renegotiate. Let's get back at the table. So to get back at the table, the contract wasn't actually really the problem because it was standard, which we didn't like. It was like, all right, that's standard. We come from the streets. We know numbers. It's shit. If we only getting $1 or $2 off an album, fuck that album. We need more than that. I was outside. I know how much I'm supposed to get when I sell something. So if I'm selling a CD, we selling a CD. And then we get into the nitty gritty of it. Like, yo, how much do we get off this each CD? And you hear a number that ain't right, you got to try to fix that. And that's what we did.
And then too, that was a time when you said it was a standard contract. That was a time when a lot of artists' careers might not have gone past 3 albums. So people wasn't even thinking longevity back then. Another question I have for y'all, just knowing what Bad Boy represents, you know what I'm saying? Because I think people don't understand the amount of balls that it took, the amount of guts that it took to really be like, nah, we want out of here. Especially because of what Bad Boy represented for the culture. if Big hadn't died, do y'all think it would have went that way? Would y'all have been willing to kind of figure it out or ride it out? Because
if Big was alive, we probably would have still been there, or we would have been on his label.
why is that? Because he seems so excited. Like even when look, man, you know, break bread with the Kiss Panero, Sheek Louch, Black Rob joined the mob, but ain't no replacing him.
I tell you a story. I said it before, but at that part before he got killed that night, we was in the party. That was our first time in LA. We was actually mad at Puff for some reason I have no idea of now. But we was over there, you know, screw faced up, grumpy. And when we went to him, he like, yo, it's my single release, man. Shake that shit off. We'll fix all that when we get back over there. He gave us a bottle of champagne, gave us some weed, and say, yo, man, we happy. We chilling right now. And we went over there and chilled till it was time to leave. So he was going to help rectify. He used to tell us about Puffin. You know what I mean? I think he would have helped the situation a lot more. It wouldn't have been that easier because he would have wanted us. He would have wanted us with him. You know what I mean? He would have wanted us down with him. So I think the
That's a true
outcome might
story
have been.
too.
I think the
Well,
outcome would have been different.
Right.
Yeah,
You know
nah,
what I mean? Just because he knew he understood what we was going through, and he, you know what I mean? He cared about us being on his the label mates, and he also knew how Puff was, so he would have kind of helped us get through that, like one of your elder statesmen in high school that took the course already, and like this is how you get. So I think it'd have been one of the situations with B.I. was still alive.
word. I mean, that's how I said because he just seemed so excited about y'all being on the team. I remember I talked to y'all about when y'all did You'll See, and he kind of hazed y'all a little bit. It's like how you might treat the rookie on the basketball team a little bit. But then when y'all get to Last Days, you know what I'm saying, or for Life After Death, it seemed different. Like it just seemed the way y'all was rocking on that record. Do y'all remember anything particular about that Last Day session?
I know he was excited. I know he pulled up to the club one night and played us the finished version, and we was excited after that. But Big, besides music, he was the kind of guy. He would like tell Puff, nah, don't put them over there. Put them into this hotel. Nah, don't let them stay over there. Let them stay with us. Big do shit like that with Puff. Word.
And when they called us for that, we was on the block. We was in the hood and got the call. Yo, they want y'all to be on Big's album. We went straight from the block to the session. We took some of our dudes with us from the hood. He had the whole mafia there. We got smoked out, drunk. And I remember everybody passed out. Most of the people passed out. All of our dudes, all of his dudes. And then he went in and did his verse last. You know what I mean? We set the song off, did the hook. He went in last. And then, like Louch said, he pulled up somewhere at a club on us and let us hear the final mixed version.
Yo, another thing in the documentary, and this is what I want to commend y'all on, man, because living off of experience, you know, like y'all, we know where y'all from and we know what y'all pedigree is, right? But y'all didn't all the way glorify the shit. So when I see something like when the Rough Rider tour, again, I think a lot of people were surprised about the Made Men beef and the Benzino thing. And I actually seen Benzino give his side of the story. And when you look at it, you was like, damn, that could have been a bigger problem than when it was. Obviously, it was a problem in the moment, but y'all squashed it, and it never felt like y'all used that as a marketing thing or whatever. Like, can y'all talk about that side of rap? Either like y'all could be who y'all are, but y'all never had to glorify shit like that, and a lot of shit like that flew under the radar.
Real shit speak for itself.
Could have
Believe it
went
or
to
not.
jail off that. Oh, we could have
Yeah,
died.
you
word,
ain't talking about that shit. Yo, let me tell you,
word.
this radio station was talking about it more than us. We barely brought it up.
Right.
Yeah, I think when I mean, when you got a certain things like certain shit just comes with the territory, and we trying to get out and do better. Like, you know what I mean? We know where we from. People who listen to our music know where we from. People where we from know how they know how we do. So you ain't trying to run around and be on that time. Like we the people, like, we on this time, but we come to your hood. We always know how to delegate ourselves. Like, you know what I mean? So we go to cities, we go to the hardest cities in the world, and people love us because we respect the rules. We know the code. We know how it go. We ain't here being loudmouths. We ain't here to glorify no shit. And we gonna hold ourselves down properly and correct. And you know what I mean? Ain't nothing gonna be involved. Ain't gonna be no police involved. We gonna handle our own shit. And if we gotta talk like gentlemen and men, we gonna talk like gentlemen and men. If we can't do that, then we will do what we gotta do. But we ain't trying to bring that shit and tell everybody, yo, this is what we do. This is how we do. Those who know. Like, you know what I mean? And that ain't something you want to glorify. That's something we always try to get away from. I mean, we speak about it because that's where we from, but we ain't trying to run. We try to get money. Like, we businessmen. We always try to get money. Some shit just come with the territory, though.
That's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons we was able to go 20-something years with no security, though, Rob. We know how to adapt and adjust and move accordingly and respect people's. You know what I mean? We know how to move right. We was able to go on tours. We go on shows. We go everywhere with no security because we got. Not saying that it can't happen, but it don't happen as often with us because we know how to move. You know what I mean?
And shout out to the whole Boston, man, and Zeno
Word.
and everybody, man, out there. Period. Point blank.
Nah,
The whole crew.
I just want to commend y'all for that because a lot of rappers would have used it and on both sides. You know, Styles, even your situation, like you caught a situation and had to sit down while you were famous, like while we knew who Styles P was. And when you came out, it was never. I don't know if the label Interscope you were signed to at the time ever was like, "Yo, we should use this." I don't know what the conversations were, but it was never a marketing thing. It was never like Styles came out of jail and this is
We
what
on
it
cloud
is.
chase, baby.
Jail is for suckers anyway.
Right.
We on cloud chase. We've
Nah.
been not cloud chasing before they made that shit up. We on cloud chase.
Word.
Heard up.
You don't got to do certain things. You don't got to do when it's part of the script. And when I came out of jail, I'm black. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I did. Like, it was more so. I think we always find that fine line. I think that's the real thing when you really like, and we really represent these streets, and there's a reason why we're the representatives, and people lean to us from all parts of the world, not even just America, like all parts of the world, because they feel the pain in the music. They feel a understanding. They feel an overstanding. They hear the story. We paint it in a way where we relate to you. We fucking blue collar hip hop, bro. Like, we are blue collar hip hop at its finest. We just like exotic and luxurious shit, but we blue collar hip hop and we people of the people, man. I think that's the big difference between, like, I fuck with the people and my brothers. I feel like we fuck with the people more than we running around worrying about fucking with other rappers and how we look to them. They gotta worry about how they look to us. That you to be real, like, you know what I mean? That's how I look at it.
That's a fact. Kiss, I want to ask you when you did verses with Fab, it was dope to see everybody realize that you penned Puff's greatest verse ever on Victory. And it made me think though, was there ever a reference to that track? Like, is there a version of that track with your vocals and Biggs?
I got it in my mom's crib on cassette. I gotta go over there and get it. Yeah, it's a reference to that. It's a reference to anything that I ever had to do for Puff. Yeah, it's a version. I got a tape with me saying the sun don't shine forever.
Is Big on it too, or did Big come after that?
Yeah, Big is on there too.
You know
Shout out to the engineer that gave me that back then.
that's $1 million recording right there, at least.
Tell me somebody got $1 million for it. I go tear my mom's crib up right now.
Nah, that's hard. You know what we would do to hear that? That's crazy. Yo, how much just for all of y'all has writing for others factored into y'all career?
I feel like it's cool. I feel like I just look at it as part of the job. I don't really look at it as a different part of the career. I look at it as just like a different department. It's like fun to do because one, it shows our intelligence to be able to hop in someone else's shoes. I think we go about it in a witty way. We observe the person, and then I make sure I get their likes, their dislikes, and then just kind of go from there. And so it's kind of fun, like, you know what I mean? It's really good. It's good exercise, man. I feel everything is part of your craftsmanship at some point. So it's just a good part of the craft for me.
As you gotta damn near become that person and think how they think. But me, if I'm ever helping somebody out, man, I switch right back to me after that shit.
I hated it when I was younger. I hated the right shit from Puff.
Wow, what was it? Did you just feel like write the shit yourself? Like,
No, like Louch, I felt like he was trying to get some of me. And I just wanted to stay in me mode. I ain't want to switch to puff mode.
Right.
Styles, I know we seen, and I started with you because I know we seen some pictures with you and Kanye and Kenny G. Have those records started coming out?
I don't think so. I think he's holding them, or you know, I don't know. I think he's gonna put them out before he's running. Yeah, before he's running for president, they somebody from his camp hit me. You know, love is love though.
That's interesting. I want to go back into another classic record, Benjamin's. A lot of people don't realize Missy was involved in that record early on. Before Sheik, I remember reading the story where you said like y'all didn't even really know who Missy was or what she looked like. It was so early.
She had that record out with Gina Thompson at the time, right? I think that was like her
I
introduction.
was
kinda.
about to come out. I don't think it was out. She was making.
Peanuts
That's
and
when she was
seeds.
in there making.
Peanuts to
She was
catch.
in there making that.
Or was she showing us some of the video or something? She was in a MIDI room doing something with Puff.
She was fucking breakdancing.
Shout out to Miss. Hey, what up, baby girl? Yes, we came in. They was playing this beat that we didn't really like, and we was like, "Yo, what's this?" We thought he was gonna force it on us, like, "Yo, this is for your album," and we was like, "Yo." And then this girl was in there. She was just like, "Yo, can I hear y'all rap? Let me hear you say something." All of us rapping and shit, and she was like, "Yo, let me hear something to this beat." And we was like, that's all right. Then we start rapping to it and all that. And then she was like, yo, man, you gonna write this, you gonna say that verse, you gonna do this and that. She mapped that whole shit out. I don't know if she remember, but she did that whole shit. She was dancing and shit. And then we really didn't know who she was. It was crazy. She been lively like that. I swear to God. Real bubbly.
Right. God, that's
And the
crazy.
Benjamins was born. That was, then Fuzz Bubble and all them other versions came, but that's how that actual song took place.
Right. Obviously, Big gets added on. There's like a remix with Big. Kim gets added on. But if you remember the Clue version,
They ain't even have. I wasn't on the remix neither.
we gotta
They
find
put
the
me on the
lost.
remix neither. Oh,
We gotta find the Lost Styles P verse.
Yo, Super Mario, I'm telling you, besides the record being hot, when Super Mario leaked the record, that's what really got that shit out there crazy. Word.
Yo, they did the remix. I ain't make that either. My shit, yo.
They
Nah,
put
the
you on the
remix,
rock
what was
and
that? The
roll.
rock. It
They
was the
put
rock
you on the
version,
rock
right?
and roll remix.
I catch the rock and roll.
Kim and Big is on the remix.
I catch
the rock and roll remix.
This is the rock and roll remix. I ain't catch that shit either. Holy shit.
Did you feel the way at the time, or was it just Soldier On?
Nah, it's always Soldier On. Like, that's the one thing. Like, if they win and I'm winning, I'm cool. I caught a check for it. They sent the movement in my house for it. I wasn't even on it, so I was cool. I had to catch a shit at the show. I was on, yeah. And I know they ain't like the beat neither, as much as I ain't like the beat. So it wasn't like like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like it was a fucking game that I missed that I ain't catch it. But then the remix, though, I was like, damn, I could have caught the remix. Because by the time the remix came, I knew what it was. No me on the remix. It was cool, though. That motivated me. It kept me motivated to stay on my job. Like, you know what I mean?
Shit, another record I want to ask y'all about, Blackout, DMX Blackout with the LOX and Jay-Z. Kids, last time I spoke to you, you had gave me kind of the backstory in Reservoir Dogs and how Hove, y'all was fresh off the plane, and Hove was like, invited y'all to the studio and they tried to rush y'all. And we know what Reservoir Dogs is. Reservoir is a super competitive record. Blackout kind of feels more like a union, especially with that last DMX verse when he was like, man, we could take it there to make it fair.
That's what that was. Whatever album that came out on X album, they flew the whole family to LA. We laid that in LA. That was the first song. We was all going to LA to work on X album or something. But I remember the first studio session when we got to LA, the first song we laid was Blackout. And that's all I remember. And then I got a hip hop quotable on there. He had it Hove on there. He was sick. He was about to go to London or something. That's why you could hear it in his voice sound a little bit different. He laid it. They caught him to lay it right before he went to London.
Yo, nigga said hip hop quotable, dog. Crazy.
In the source.
Yeah, I caught a quotable off that.
Yo.
Nah, that's crazy. That's definitely a classic record, man. I want to close it out with y'all, man, and because we could go. First of all, y'all gotta really chase the book with the documentary. like Kid said, like I think the LOX story is just unlimited files.
That's coming,
Yeah.
sir.
No, it's almost done. Yeah,
We
we've been
got
filming
we
for
gotta go
years.
back in and
Add
we
some
gotta
finishing
add some new.
touches.
Nah, that's hard, man, and I can't wait to see it. But you know, because y'all been through a lot, and since the album is living off experience, I just go one at a time. Sheik, we could start with you. But the most important lesson you learned, you know, since the birth of LOX.
It's like a crazy part question, man. For one, like since you said at the beginning, reading them contracts, I should have done that or looked into things more, even though I was young. You know what I mean? Because like, you can't blame everybody, but you know you gotta take some blame yourself. What else have I learned in this game? I'd have never gave them motherfucking accountants all my money and shit back then with them business managers and shit back then. Yo, now that you think about it, like yo, all kind of shit like that, bro. Oh, and I probably would have. I always say I would have learned some production.
You say we would have learned some production styles. You have anything?
Always quest for balance. You know what I mean? Strive for peacefulness. Find out what makes you comfortable. Try to live in the moment. Don't sweat the past nor the future too much. Always think of the future. Know the past made you, but live in the moment and do the things you want to do. You know what I mean? Strive to do the things you want to do with the people you want to do them with. Like, you know what I mean? Live by your own standards, man. Set your own standards and just go.
Bro, Kiss, man. Finally, man. The number one lesson you know living off experience. Number one lesson, man, since the birth of the LOX.
Do good business with good people. I mean, be for yourself, not for yourself as in selfishness, but you know, do what makes you happy. That's also we got spoiled because we came in the game with no social media, so we was able to. Our privacy in those times are priceless because they're in our minds. It might be some still shots, but for the most part, the golden era of rap has to be in your head. Whereas today, it's people recording me right now that I don't even see. You know what I'm saying? So you're not able to appreciate the times as much. So just appreciate life and do good business, man.
Word. Nah, man. Look, I appreciate y'all. Like I said, as a student of the game, man, and a fan, y'all giving us so much. And you know, I always say, whenever y'all got something, man, I'm always whatever platform I'm on, I'm willing to celebrate it with y'all and shine some light on whatever y'all doing because the shit is really important. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Appreciate you, bro.
And I appreciate all y'all for watching. For the record, man, definitely check out that LOX album, Living Off Experience. You know what I'm saying? You can stream it. You should probably cop it. I actually bought it. You know what I'm saying? So you should probably cop it. You know, it's better for the environment if you buy records more than stream them.